performance on Storm Point specifically within Year 5 Pro League is JD Gaming. On average, they usually get almost 12 points on Storm Point, and Shopify Rebellion close to 10 points per game on Storm Point. And that mouse fight goes hard, by the way.
Well, then that's going to be Shopify Rebellion's biggest chance here on Storm Point to try and catch up. Currently in 4th place. They have dropped down just a bit, but they have been extremely active across these last 5 games. So if they can maintain that average, right, that's 36 points across 3 Storm Point maps, that would put them within striking distance of Alliance. That's if Alliance slows down, but we know the strength of their Storm Point play.
Let's get going. Enough waiting. Going into game number 6, our first game on Storm Point. One of the 3 here as we take a look at S8UL. Our winners of our last game here who would land in Mill. They'll also have a trident to their name, a ring console, as well as a survey beacon. Play objective, the Prowler Den's also right to their south. We do know that NRG lands in Cenote Caves, and they like to split loot too, sending one of the members of NRG closer to the trident to the north side of the zipline of Cenote. Also having that information, but this zone, Jamerson, will be pulling over to the northeastern side of Storm Point.
Yeah, they're about to hit the ring console right now, so I want to see what their response is. Seeing this close come out, and it's pulling over towards Launchpad on the eastern edge. And so this does leave a lot of options for S8UL, who were able to secure that trident for themselves. They can try and ride the southern coast of the map and then work their way towards that eastern edge. But you have to imagine, teams that do well with priority on Storm Point with a pull like that, well, it's going to be VP coming up from Devastated Coast. Gaming Gladiators already dropping on Launchpad will be there. They'll take a power position, and Virtus Pro will also be able to play pretty back in the corner here, try and play in the deep pocket and control the slow side of the zone, which is their bread and butter, which they are able to really convert on. When it comes to VP, I feel like Storm Point is where they need to try and bounce back this series.
You're gonna need to here. They're sitting in 12th place. 24 total points. A 2-point difference between themselves and Crazy Raccoon. When we get to see Evos already start off this fight here over to the south side on the choke of Echo HQ.
Yeah, they've got to be careful. They can't take too long on this fight because we do have Crazy Raccoon, who are an aggressive squad. But Evos taking a lot of damage here. He will back away. Unlimit, not quite chasing after this one yet, but with the armor disadvantage, it looks like they don't want to get overly aggressive.
That's why Evo's got aggressive instead, because they know they're gatekeeping the Evo Harvester. Great call and trying to charge up that Rampage, but Ilari Man taking way too much damage here. The Whistler too from the other side of the Ballistic. Your one shot though, you still commit and you peek with the Devo, and now it's going to be a 2v1 when you're left one. Unlimit, who had started off that fight with that Evo Shield disadvantage, take over Evos, being the first squad to get eliminated. Great looks for Unlimited, because now they have the Evo Harvester here, but it's non-stop fighting. You talk about trying to rotate from that south side, well, guess what? VP are on the other side of Fusion. It's Gaming Gladiators that took that fight to Fusion when they were chasing them on the outskirts of Launchpad.
And Gaming Gladiators understand the consequences of allowing a team to just rotate in here for free. They knew they had to get rid of Fusion, so they get aggressive on it. VP, of course, come up from behind for that third party. Going back to that Unlimited fight, though, you saw the strength of the Ballistic. The Rampage with the Tempest immediately just destroying players as they try to make a cross. And now Fusion's January trying his best to survive. He will get knocked out. We mentioned it, VP need to convert here on Storm Point, and already they're doing a great job with the help of Gaming Gladiators of keeping the slow side of the zone clear.
Like a Slayer jump scare, by the way, right there. He was not ready. Poor single soul 1P 2020 to try to make magic happen as they exit out of the lobby. S8UL, though, off that Trident, as we noted, after they left Mill, where there was that Evo Harvester and that Trident located, they find themselves in that next zone. Team Liquid slowly trailing right behind them, while Twisted Minds, playing up the low ground, are staring at 100 Thieves.
Oh, Twisted Minds, though, really can't take this fight. They don't have the ability to try and punish a knock from that low ground, and so, yeah, they're going to back away. I think it was just a scouting effort for them. For GG and VP, they both know this low side of the zone is the most important part about securing this victory.
This is smart, though, to call off trying to commit to this fight, because there are so many teams right behind Gaming Gladiators, but it's an even smarter call from VP, because they know their backs are cleared over to the south side of the edge of this zone. They don't want to find themselves pinched between themselves and Gaming Gladiators, so they're going to be able to put the tracker darts from the Sparrow just to be able to get that information. Okay, Light just take a huge bullet to the head, it looks like, from a distance here. Gaming Gladiators having to play that safely over to the other side, while 100 Thieves are still going to be able to hold on to the high ground.
Yeah, this is where the lineups are going to be so important for both Gaming Gladiators and Virtus Pro with the position that they're in. There is a survey beacon inside of Launchpad for either of them to hit. For Gaming Gladiators, it might just be out of reach for them, but for VP, they have a clear path to be able to hit that. And so they'll always know when someone's going to be approaching from that south side. For S8UL, our winners of game number 5, they did not decide to take that trade down through the south side. They were able to cut straight through the middle of the map and make it towards this north side of Launchpad, essentially. But we're getting a big pileup. We've got Twisted Minds, 100 Thieves, even ROC that were eyeing up this position, who might now have to decide another way into this zone. But for S8UL, they are doing a great job of just keeping tabs on the teams around them. But as this ring more than likely continues to pull down towards Launchpad, they're going to have a difficult go of it. They've got VK Gaming, Rival Esports, Crazy Raccoon, all on the North Launchpad side to try and keep them out.
Well, Lions taking this fight already after they were able to scan that survey beacon. Unlucky. It was purple. Uses out his shield. He's going to be able to go right inside here as JD Gaming were the ones that got caught in the middle of that rotate. Forced to split up just slightly here over on the other side of this choke. Alliance splitting them up. It's an isolated fight with Alliance taking a much more roundabout rotate out of that Launchpad Trident POI of theirs, but they're taking the evac tower and they are on the hunt to try to chase down JD Gaming.
Yeah, this is where a little bit of the inexperience really does come in. You have to know that Alliance are going to be lurking around here. You can't wait for that timing. I mean, JD Gaming are coming from wall. They should have been long gone. Yes. They should not have been there whatsoever, and they're learning their lesson. Luckily for them, though, they still have 2 up. If they get knocked out here, though, the next 2 games, they're going to know we can't stick around for Alliance.
Alliance are hungry. They're waiting on the edge of zone. You got to come out eventually, but you know what? JD Gaming split up. That's the good part here, as that other player of JD Gaming is going to be able to take that gravity cannon outside of wall into the next zone as Go Next get eliminated. 17 squads still left, and by the way, this next circle is pulling right towards where Gaming Gladiators and VP were calling out playing on the edge. VP taking a much more safer rotate, where they're going to be on that slight high ground that overlooks Launchpad, closer to that gravity cannon on the outskirts of Devastated Coast by the rock side.
Yeah, VP were slowed down just a little bit because they had to deal with that fusion rotate in, but Gaming Gladiators, like you had mentioned, getting that deep pocket, having basically the edge of the map to their back, making it that much easier for them to focus on those chokes, right? To their north, to their south, and of course, to their west. So getting a better look at that. The ring will continue to pull over to that eastern side when we get it up. And so teams like Rival Esports are still in the next zone, RRX, Crazy Raccoons, and even Team Liquid. So currently about 5 or 6 teams inside that next zone. A lot of teams kind of meandering about, though. We might have NRG meeting up with Unlimit there down by the pylon. And I feel like for a team like NRG, they are looking and hunting for these kills.
They're hungry right now. The way that they've been able to try to scout out a lot of these teams slowly on their rotate. Unlimit have opted to go through the pylon side. They're going to be able to have a ring console at survey beacon here too. While Gaming Gladiators have not moved from this spot. Why would they? They call out this zone, and they're making sure that no team will be coming in from that cliff side from the northern choke. They have that tracker dart just for some extra information. They have some loot at their feet here from the fight that we saw go down earlier, but it's a lot more so poke pressure. And since, of course, we saw the altar get banned out in the first game alone, not really able to remotely loot in general, just going to be able to work with what they have right now. We saw the double P20s, the 30-30s from afar. All you need, honestly, with the positioning that they're holding, while Crazy Raccoon looking at the team land right in the building in front of them, seeing if they could have an opportunity to third-party this, as Nuzul is able to get that knock at the SBI.
Boy, getting that bat for now. Jaguar is holding the stairwell while nearly getting the knock. Nizo still on the ground here. VP coming in to try and third party SBI have Turtle up on the high ground, but they've lost out on one. Super low in terms of HP, and VP are continuing to get the knocks. That's going to be Mike gone. Now, only left with their Sparrow with 1 HP. Somehow makes it out. No! VP will be able to finish them off.
Lou chasing down that last player right here. Crazy Raccoon were also looking to get involved, but took a little bit of time. They didn't want to give up the high ground. That's a good call from them. They were looking at VP, who have now cleared up that building, and they're in that next zone too.
Crazy Raccoons. This is going to be a necessary pickup of loot at the very least for themselves, as looks like Shopify Rebellion getting into a small skirmish with 100 Thieves somewhere on the map. It is going to be up on the northeast side right now, and Alliance are eyeing this off from the side, picking one off. That's going to be Hawkis with a knock onto MT. Shopify Rebellion are knocked out.
Legolas with that bow check. A beautiful death box right there. Shopify eliminated 100 Thieves. Up on the high ground now, facing up against Alliance. Jendo gets 2v1 against a double Devo, it looked like too. Unlucky holding on to the height, looking down at 100 Thieves in this isolated fight at that too. Great fight to try to take as they try to wrap around. Effect gets knocked down though, as Alliance still up as a two-man drop down. Phony one shot, only so much you could do as he was still trying to keep alive here. They get the trade. Unlucky gets that next, and Burhos is the only one from 100 Thieves up and alive. And Den Burden, who got the res.
Yep, and now Unlucky able to get that shield swap. Trying to go for the res. Alliance, though, Unlucky! He's still fighting back, but the res on the other side there. 100 Thieves trying to slowly whittle down the rest of Alliance. Unlucky hits another bat. And now in the 1v2, can he pull it off? No, Alliance will get eliminated. This is now 100 Thieves' opportunity to catch up to Alliance.
That was such a great, slow, individual 1v1 fight between both these teams, though. In that 2v2 situation, holding two different split angles, forcing one of the players to just put themselves out on the line of sight to feel the pressure. But they were holding hands here with that comeback from 100 Thieves as we take a look at Twisted Minds in this position, holding up on height. It is nice to note, too, the Mythic Bin has spawned right on top of VK Gaming, so they will have access to that as they were bunkered down with the Rampart inside those zipline buildings on the outskirts of the gravity cannon that Rock were holding.
For Twisted Minds, though, they've got one hell of a rotate in the next 20 seconds. They've got JD Gaming off to their west, S8UL on their east, trying to pepper them down, and all in their way, ROC Esports along with Rival Esports here on the high ground.
Triple take in hand, too. They were able to also get that red helmet. Twisted Minds, though, looking at YC, JDG, sorry, is going to be taken out here. 13 squads up, Twisted Minds looking right down below. Well, they've been positioned here. We're able to get that KP, which is what they need. Only 2 KP to their name for this game alone as round 3 closes in right behind them. They're going to have to start moving in as S8UL are right in front of them.
Evac tower out. They see that S8UL are moving well ahead of them right now. They're just going to actually fake that one and continue to walk this one in. S8UL slowed down just a bit because of it, but they have one member ahead of them. But the last member of JDG, that's going to be Johnny R holding the line. Not for long, as Kruk will be able to finish him off, pick up the extra KP, and now they have to deal with Rock Esports ahead of them.
Yeah, they needed that KP because not only do they have to deal with Rock, VK Gaming are right there, and S8UL have settled inside the edge of zone with the Rampart walls too. Twisted Minds in trouble as Aberlele is going to be able to phase away on that raid. Rock Esports holding the Prowler down though. Reed's taking a lot of damage, that triple take, peppering at him with their backs, feeling pressure from the ring. Eating out the nades here as the pilot begins. Rock in some trouble, but they get some safety behind the rock.
Just so much pressure here on the northwest side. VK have lost out on one. S8UL set up a little bunker for themselves with those Rampart walls, and they're able to secure that thirst onto QQ. VK, though, somehow surviving for now, but it's only Casa with about 10 HP before he goes down. So, a lot of our lobby leaders now out. It's 100 Thieves moment here in second place with 50 points. Catch up.
Rock are in such a tough place, literally in the line of sight of 2 teams at the same time here, doing everything they can, looking at rivals, looking at S8UL have now pushed up, by the way. Legacy being able to get that first knock onto Vax the Thermite fight, as Rival are now trying to wrap around, making sure no team comes up behind them here too, but they still want to get some of this KP.
Yeah, they have to make sure that they apply this pressure properly. They cannot lose a member because they have Rival Esports the entire time looking them down. And so they don't overextend for this one. They're safe for now as Bafa Fifth tries to get aggressive from Rivals, and now here's a huge opportunity.
How do they keep doing this? It's always S8UL and Rival on the other side of the sandwich. I mean, it's a buffet out here for Apex South to feast on as they go their separate ways here. Literal respect as S8UL now rotate to the north side, looking at RRX and Rival Esports. Both these teams now having to move into that next zone. Gaming Gladiators, who have not moved from their position, by the way, are looking at 100 Thieves, who are looking to take their side by the Prowler Den closer to the water.
Yeah. For Rival Esports, though, as they continue to make their way on in, they've got S8UL right behind them. RR6 in this building as well. They can survive for now. Ring is closing in. Time is of the essence. But S8UL will take time to get some cooldowns back along with Rival Esports. They expended a lot just to get on in, but they're not in fully quite yet. We still have 4 other squads in the lobby. Crazy Raccoons making their way in along with VP. Right now we're sticking with S8UL as Rivals take that high ground.
And now as they wrap around in this building with this 3-team pile-up, let the Sheila sing as Jesco's looking at a corner. Off a feed with the red Evo once again, but Rival Esports still with the double blue Evos that they're forced to play off of this. Off that low ground too. VP, 100 Thieves by the way, lighting up the feed. Another 3-team pile-up it looks like, with Crazy Raccoon losing out on 1, but trying to play off this corner, hailing down the damage as S8UL. Nobody's stopping them here off this rooftop. Jesco gets the next knock here, 2 back-to-back. 7 squads left, and no third party here inside this building.
S8UL, they're on the verge of a back-to-back until RRX decides to drop down on them. Nane finds 1 knock onto Jesco. Sharky falling next, but Legacy, the 1v1, can he finish him off? The knockdown shield making it a little bit difficult as Legacy will back away with that RRX. Just have too much firepower here, and they will eliminate S8UL along with Crazy Raccoon going down to VP.
Clearing that entire western side of that next zone, but you're going to be forced out into the open. 100 Thieves are splitting their attention at RRX. They're looking down at Gaming Gladiators. Let's jump into a listening with 100 Thieves here as we jump into a listening to see what their next move is.
Hey team, how about we reposition over there?
Yeah, I did like the spider's play. I couldn't see any vision to get there either. The only thing I can think of now, after obviously you just said it, is just command center. Just such a tough situation to be in. Very congested on that side.
Zone's closing in. 100 Thieves are holding the north side, trying to gatekeep RRX, and that's the first knock onto Nane from VP. Now 100 Thieves still dealing with that RRX. They're getting flanked. It's going to be Gaming Gladiators on top of them.
And now VP have the perfect opportunity to third party this. They need to close in the gap as 100 Thieves take this fight versus Gaming Gladiators. Motherload called it. Blast is literally 1 shot though. Having to be careful. Bangle rolling in here. Rolling Thunder. Just enough. 2 squads left. Burrows is popping up. They're looking to get the reset, but taking way too long as VP for free walk up to take the dub.
That's what I'm talking about. VP needed to convert. They are so good when it comes to Stormpoint and the ring pulls coming their way. That's why they love going over towards that devastated coast side. And they were able to do it extremely well. We saw them move early on. They got cut off by fusions, but with the help of Gaming Gladiators, they were able to take them out early on, keep that slow side of the zone extremely